Okay, well, we're starting chapter 12. So this is the beginning of chapter 12, section 1. I'm just going to stop for a second. My tablet's not responding yet. So pretty much section 1 deals with frequency, relative frequency distributions, histograms, and frequency polygons. So we're going to do a couple of those. And we start with problem number 1. And it's on page 636. So what we have is 30 numbers from 1 to 5. And each number represents a response to a question about what are the 5 most popular maintenance activities performed on your car. So number 1 is prep the car for road trips. 2 is clean up the house or apartments. Sorry, it's just things to maintenance items in general. Grooming the garden, exercise the body, organize the wardrobe. Following data are the response of 30 people who were asked. So we basically have 5 responses. And since in this case it's not a numerical answer. There's a number represents a response, but it's not like we're measuring something. So for histograms and for frequency distributions, you need what we call our bins or classes. And so our classes in this case are what the most popular responses are, 0 being none of them. So that's what 0 means. So there's 6 responses. There's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, actually, sorry, that's not what it's asking. It's asking how many of those things did they do. So the least they can do, it's still the same numbers. It represents how many of the 5. So you can have 0 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, and 5 out of 5. So that's what those numbers represent. And so we're going to make this table up like we did in class. So we're basically just going to put a mark when we have an occurrence of a certain value. So let's see what we just started. The first number, which is a 1, so we can put a little mark here. The next number is a 1. Next number is 3, 1, 0, 3, 0, 0, 2, 1. So that's the first row. Then we go to the second row, 2, 2, 0, 0, 2 zeros. We have 5. We have 3. 4, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so that's the second. So that's the second row. It should be, if I count these, I should have 20, 5, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20. Okay, so I'm good. So then continue on the third row. I've got a 4, I've got a 2, I've got a 0, 2, a 0, a 1, a 0, a 1. I forgot where it was. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 27. So I think I was did a 0, then the next one was a 1, and then a 2, and then a 3. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 23, 23 plus 4 is 27, 2 more is 30. Okay, I think I counted those right. Sometimes you kind of lose track of where you are on the diagram. Now, from this, we add up the number of marks. So there's 10 of the marks for 0 chores. There's 7 marks for one chore. There's 6 marks for 2 chores. There's 4 marks for 3 chores. There's 2 marks for 4 chores, and there's 1 mark. So now what we can do is we can do both the frequency and the relative frequency distribution. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a table that has 7 rows and 3 columns. And we're going to add another page here. So that if you go look at your book, you'll see this is how it's set up. And this is the, let's say the class or number, we'll say number of chores. Okay, and this is the frequency, and this is the relative frequency. So here, the first column is just the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 6 choices, including 0. The frequency of these numbers, 10, 7, 6, 4, 2, and 1, which add up to 30. So if you sum them and use this capital sigma to represent the sum. And the reason we do that is because the relative frequency is the value here divided by the total. So we just take these fractions and then I'll write them as decimals in a second. So this is going to be 0.337 over 30. Okay, so now we get the calculator out. Which I have somewhere around here. There it is. Okay. 7 divided by 30. 2.23. 6 divided by 30. 0.2. 4 divided by 30. 0.13. 2 divided by 30. 0.06. Just 1 0. And 1 divided by 30. And if I add all those up, I'll get 1. All the relative frequencies add up to 1. So that's part A. The next part is to construct a histogram. And we use the frequency as the y-axis. So you're going to have an x-y plot. Actually, let's make it into a box, just so we have something to. So there's your box, and yeah, I don't know if I need a box or not. I think I just need axes. So put 2 axes up here. So what you have over here is frequency. And the max is 10, so I'm going to put a mark there for 10. And then I need mark every 2 units. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There we go. So that's close enough. If you had graph paper, you could use graph paper. And then we have 6 polygons that we're going to make. And we make them the height of the value in the frequency. So that's 10. So I just make a thing about that wide. And they all should be the same width. And if you use a program, it'll do it all nicely. I'm just doing it, kind of sketching it in. So that's the next block. That's 7 units high. The next one will be 6 units high. I'm trying to make them about the same width, so it looks good. The next one is about 4 units high. The next one is 2 units high. The last one is 1 unit high. So those are the bars that represent these values, and then you would put the scale here, which is 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'd have some description. You could say number of chores completed prior to summer. So that's what a histogram looks like. And you can look at it and you say, well, the most frequent thing is to do no chores. And then the next most frequent is 1. Out of 30 individuals, 10 of them did no chores. So that is what the histogram looks like. And then the frequency polygon, really, I can just draw it in here. What you do is you put a dot. You basically draw a line diagram where instead of having a bar, you actually draw a line between the points that represent the heights and have them centered at the numbers. So it's what we would call a line graph when it comes to types of graphs. If you wanted to draw this using Google Docs. So the red thing is the frequency polygon, and the black squares are the histogram. Okay, the next one is 5. So this applies the question. Okay, they're going to ask another question. So it says exercises 3 through 6 use the given data to do the following: construct a grouped frequency and relative frequency distribution. Construct a histogram, construct a frequency polygon. So the only difference is it calls it a grouped frequency. And what that means is that we're going to decide how to group these. So you look through those 30 numbers, and it actually tells you, it says use 9 classes with a uniform width of 5 degrees, where the lower limit of the first class is 70. So what we're going to do is we're going to define the classes by a range of numbers. Here we just said the class is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. So we look at our data and we see that the smallest number is 72, and that's why we choose 70. So they want us to group them by the lowest number being a multiple of 5. And they said there are 9. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And if you look at the largest number, it's 111, I think. And that's why we stop here, because we got 110. Now this actually goes to, theoretically, it goes to 74.9999999. But practically speaking, in this case, because the answers are integers, we can make the top value be an integer, because we're not going to have any numbers between 79 and 80, and it just makes it easier to think about. So the top number is just 4 more than the lower number, but it includes 5 numbers: 90, 91, 92, 93, and 94. This makes it so we don't have to write, 74.999999999. Okay, so those are our 9 classes. Is that what they call them? Class, yeah. Sometimes they call them bins. So I'll take that and we'll just clone it. Clone, infinite cloner. Okay. That way they're all the same. Width, yeah. So this is just to keep things separated. Okay, and let's turn the cloner off here. Okay, so now we're going to go through the data again. So you tried first, so if you pause the thing and then see if you get it right. Okay, did you pause it? Don't cheat. Okay, we're back. Okay, so the first number is 79, so it goes in this grouping. 84 is the next number, goes in that one. 88 goes there. 96 goes there. 102, 104, 99, 97, 92, 94. So those are the first 10 numbers. 2, 5, 7, 10. Okay. Then we go to the next row. We have 85, 92, 100, 99, 101, 104, 110, 108, 106, 106, 90, 82, 74, 72, 83, 107, 111, 102, 97, 94. Okay, so if I add all these up, it should be 30. 2, 3, 6, 8, 13, 18, 23, 24, 28, 30. Okay. Now we just put the numbers that are represented by these number of marks. So we have 2, 1, 3, 2, 5, 5, 6, 4, 2. So that's the first thing. That's grouping them. Now we have to do our table, which again is, we have 9 classes, plus we need another 2, so we need 10 rows. So I'm going to have to make this out of 2 tables. So that one's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need one that's 3 by 3. So we'll pull that down there. Grab the corner, drag it out. There we go. And now we can. This is the class. So we have 70 to 74, 75 to 79, 80 to 84, 85 to 89, 90 to 94, 95 to 99, 100 to 104, 105 to 110, 109, sorry. Again, I can do this because I have integers, so there's no numbers between these two. Okay, then you have, I guess we can call it grouped frequency, and this one will be relative frequency. Okay, so the grouped are just these numbers that I've got in the previous step. And they add up to 30 because there are 30 numbers. So now you can do the fractions. Again, they're going to be 2/30. You take this number divided by that number. I'm just going to put the answers down. And they're all going to be, so the first one is 2 divided by 30, which is 0.066. This is 0.033. This is 3 divided by 30 is 0.1. And then more 3s now. And we could, actually, we don't have to do these once. We just look for the same number, and then we 2 divided by 30 3 divided by 1, 2, 3, 2 again, so that's going to be 0.066. 4 out of 30, 4 divided by 30 is 0.133. That's only 4 we have. 5 divided by 30 is 0.166. This one's the same. And then 6 divided by 30 is 0.2. And if you add all those up, you should get 1. So that's my relative frequency, my group frequency. Those are my classes. So then to do a histogram, do the same thing, except we're going to have more bars. So we'll have to make sure we leave enough room. And the maximum is 6. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those are the number of things that are in those groups. Okay, and this is 0 down here. And we'll start with the lowest, smallest class. We'll make a polygon here that's, I'm going to make it about that wide, so it should fit 9 of them in there. So that's the first one. The next one is 1. So that's about that size. Next one's 3. Notice I make them all about the same width. The next one is 2 high. So that's 2. The next one is, I'm looking over here at these numbers. The next one is 5. So it goes all the way up to here. The next one is also 5. The next one is going to be 6. That's that one there. Next one's 4. And the last one is 2. And you can see I did a reasonably good job of picking the widths because I got them all fit in there. And then you need the values here. So I'm writing the first number in, and I'm going to write the second number here in a second. First number in this. Then I'll write 2 after all these 2. Putting it in a column so that I could fit the data in more easily. And then the top number, 74, 79, 84, 89, I'm just counting by 4s, 5s, 89, 94, 99, 104, 109, 114. So that is my relative frequency, my histogram, and then again my frequency polygon would just be a line chart that goes between the values and would be placed right in the middle of the rectangles. Now I could draw this without the bars in there, but I'm just saving myself some time because it's the same basic data. It's just using a line instead of a bar. So there you go. That's the red is the frequency. And what is this temperature? This represents temperature, so we want to label that temperature, degrees F. This axis here, which I'm running out of space, would be frequency. And then you could have a title of some sort. They say temperature, daily high temperatures for June. Okay, so that's that.